Hey everybody. I hope that everyone can hear me well. My name is Maria. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of StealthEX, and today I will be your AMA host. And we will be joined by FEG token representatives, which is great. And I've been looking forward to this interview for quite a while now because actually we've been in really good relations with FEG, and it's always exciting to have your friends over. And yeah, actually, we have our guest joining in right now, and I'm super thrilled to have this interview starting. Interview, AMA. I mean, yeah, I'm just tired. I confused the words now. Hi, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm just like I need to focus. That's the first thing. I didn't have my coffee and it's very bad. I need to introduce to you RTRcrypto, who is here, and hopefully he can hear me.
Hey,
Uh
yes, I can. I'm sorry, I was just setting up my mic.
oh yeah,
Can you
perfect.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah, everything is good. Thank you. Thank you for joining in today.
Thank you for having me. Go ahead and get that coffee in, though.
No, it's like it's too late for me. If I have it like anytime later than a particular moment, then I'm not gonna sleep. So that's how it goes. So yeah, I will just try to do my best and not confuse any more words, which is also I hope that you forgive me. And I'm going to briefly introduce the format that we will have today. It's pretty much as usual, so people who have listened to our previous AMAs should know that already. First, we will have some of the questions that we have selected from Twitter, and there have been lots of great questions. Actually, there have been so many questions. It's always super nice to see people so hyped up and so interested in knowing more. So thank you all for all these questions. We have selected 6 questions from Twitter, and then we will proceed to the live part where you will all be able to ask a question. So people pressing this request button, please hold on to the live session and we will hear you out and hopefully answer all of your requests and questions. So thank you very much. Actually, there's a lot of people joining. It's super nice to see. So I'm probably gonna give the word to our guest, RTR Crypto, if he's ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So could you please briefly introduce yourself before we proceed to the questions? So like whatever you find relevant.
Yeah, of course. So I'm RTR Crypto. I am the global project manager for FEG Token, or Feed Every Gorilla token. We are a fully decentralized. We're running a fully decentralized trading platform called FEGX, where we are running decentralized exchange off of swap contract trading. We're currently in the process of transitioning our ecosystem to a fully decentralized wallet-to-wallet, peer-to-peer trading system that, based on limit orders, that is completely decentralized and it's wallet-to-wallet, completely mitigating the middleman and not trading on swap contracts. So nobody custodians your assets except for the user throughout the entire duration of the trade. And that's going to be on both cryptocurrencies and also NFT projects. So we're really excited to see what this change can bring to the space in regards to peer-to-peer trading and the decentralization of that. Outside of that, we also are building an aggregator, custom aggregator to run alongside the limit trading platform so that users can trade at market price any token on decentralized exchanges, as our aggregator will route through multiple decentralized exchanges and it'll be at no additional cost from FEG. So we aren't taking any fee from that. That'll only charge you fees through the decentralized exchange that you use, for which it routes through, coupled with our Smart DeFi technology, which is a launchpad for cryptocurrencies. And now we had a Smart DeFi previously launched. We're actually changing that technology and giving it much more freedom and versatility for the user, for project creators. So it's coming out. We are actually in the middle of running internal testing and team testing, when then all of our contracts will be moving to third-party audits. And once we get third-party audits completed, we'll bring all this ecosystem to life in strategic order, beginning with the token itself, new migratory token. We're changing FEG token. We're actually merging the previous FEG token and the ROX token of our ecosystems into one hybrid token. and combining those liquidities and moving that to another hybrid token, which will run on our SmartDeFi platform. So all of the projects that launch from the SmartDeFi platform will have a marginal integrated transaction fee on the buys and sells. And those transaction fees will come back and feed the reward systems, the staking reward systems for holders of the FEG token and those that go into the new staking platform. So that's really exciting because we're going to place this technology not only on the Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain where FEG token is currently traded, we're going to place this on as many EVM blockchains as possible over time. And the transaction fees that come from FTW or the subscription model fees that come from FTW, which is our peer-to-peer trading platform, and also the transaction fees that come from SmartDeFi on all of these blockchains will feed the reward systems for stakers on FEG ETH and FEG BSC. So we're going to keep the token essentially at this point on both the Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, but launch all of the platforms on multiple blockchains, take all the rewards from all the multiple blockchains and feed it to the holders on just the 2 blockchains. So really expanding the scope for the potential rewards and keeping it and funneling those into the 2 blockchains so that users capitalize the most out of this. So really exciting stuff.
Yeah, you have lots of plans. That's exciting to hear that you have been in the works and so many like fronts and so many different things. Because yeah, I have been warned in the chat that you're onto like lots of things and there are lots of things in the works, but I didn't know that it's actually so many things. Thank you very much for the. Oh yeah, I interrupted you. You wanted to say something.
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's really exciting that all the changes that are coming to the ecosystem. We're really pivoting. It's a kind of it's a drastic change, and we're really excited about it because we're moving to such a new, and I think the purest form of decentralized trading, going wallet to wallet with peer-to-peer trading, and then also offering a launchpad that's so versatile. I mean, we've taken all of the feedback that we've received from the first round, the first attempt at the Smart DeFi platform, and we've taken all of that feedback and rebuilt the entire ecosystem from a new custom pre-sale contract that offers multiple functionalities, internal pre-sale contract, right? So you're not using PinkSale or any of these other names. You're going internally. You're launching directly off of us using a pre-sale, gathering that liquidity. You mint the token, launch the pre-sale, gather the liquidity, launch the token, and you can set up a bunch of parameters. I mean, you're looking at being able to decide between, having RFI, and this is all at a toggle, right? You're clicking a button and it's letting you decide whether you want your token to be reflective or non-reflective. You're minting the token, you have the pre-sale, you're allocating a percentage of the minted token to the team for, growth and development. You can lock your liquidity. There's going to be vesting periods that you're allowed to use. You're going to have the asset backing feature, which is one of the key features of the Smart DeFi that we had in the previous version, and we're also carrying over to this version, which is essentially a tax sent to a separate liquidity pool every time there's a buy and sell. And then that tax just gathers in this liquidity pool growing over time, no matter if it's bought or sold. So, your market value goes down when you sell, right, on your liquidity, but this one will go up as well. So it'll forever go up, giving you a minimum value for that token. Now, you can say, what can I do with this minimum value? Well, you can either do one of 2 things. You can take it and burn your token for that minimum value. Say you bought the token and over time the asset backing value is above your spot price. You could burn that token and take that asset backing value. Or also, if you don't want to sell the token but you need some funds, and a lot of us, this is the situation, you say, oh, I have to pay this bill, or oh, I want to try and get into this token, this project, I think I can make some money off it, but I don't want to sell this one because I don't know how it's going to move. Well, you can use our Smart Lend feature, which utilizes the asset backing value of your said tokens, and you can actually take a 30-day interest-free loan against that token value in the asset backing amount. So you come back within 30 days, you pay that loan back, and all the while that token that you have that's being held by the contract is still gaining the increase in value. So let's say you pay the loan back, it went up like 5% while you had that over that 30 days. Well, you come back in that week or that month, you pay it back, you can take out the new asset backing value, which is up 5% more, and then come back and pay that back in 30 days. So you just can do that over and over. But if you default on that loan, then the token gets burnt. So it keeps the tokens deflationary.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Actually, yeah, that probably answered like a half of the questions on the list, but we will still go through. Thank you very much. That's actually that's exciting because we keep kind of when it comes to exchanges, and we're an exchange, you kind of keep an eye on how's the token going, but the ecosystem development is definitely far more important. And the token without the ecosystem, and especially if you don't close it on itself like this, so it kind of like everything happens inside of FEG, then it kind of like just a token doesn't make sense. So that's super, super nice to hear what you've been up to. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm sorry I said, if I covered some of the questions, well, I
Ah,
mean,
that's
there's just so
it's a
much
good
to
thing.
it.
That's a good
I'll
thing.
reiterate what I said before, just because it tends to take a couple times to hear it just right off the top before people can follow it. But for the listeners that are following, that are new to the FEG ecosystem, I would recommend that you go to docs.fegtoken.com, .com. So it's docs.fegtoken.com, and that's going to bring you to our Git book, and all this information is available to you there. I can actually drop that into the Telegram chat for FEG. So that's docs.fegtoken.com. So if any of you are trying to look for this information and kind of follow along, the left side, the menu, it has all of these tabs there, so you can take a look at those. If you look at the introduction, it actually says most of this information. So it kind of gives you a brief summary of everything.
Oh,
But
thank
if
you.
you like, we can go ahead and we can continue on to the questions.
Yeah, sure, sure. That's super useful to like take a look at the docs as well. I'm sure that there are some people who are new to FEG too, so they will probably feel a little lost in the first couple of questions. So thank you for dropping this as well. And we are ready for the first question actually from Chloe. And it's kind of like more of a general question. And what's the first thing you would like people to think when FEG token is mentioned to them? It can be FEG whole ecosystem too.
Yeah, passive income. I think the priority of the ecosystem, right, is to offer and decentralized trading. So it's passive income and decentralized trading kind of goes hand in hand with our ecosystem. So you have obviously we have a token, and you just mentioned yourself that you were saying that some people you have a token, and a lot of people hyper focus on the price of the token, but there has to be some utility behind the token if you're building an ecosystem, around it.
Yeah,
There has to be
absolutely.
some sort of integration. Like, what are you buying this token for? And am I only focused on this token? Like, what's the longevity? Why are holders going to actually take this token? And what's going to keep them from wanting to just sell it when the price moves up, 100% or 200%, right? And I think for a lot of us, and when we had built the decentralized exchange initially, it revolves around the FEG token as well as the governance of that. And you were earning passive rewards from just staking your token. But, in a lot of ways, the tokenomics were, not exactly set up correctly for it. And we had renounced the contract for the token itself. And so we couldn't change and integrate a marketing fee or integrate a development fee for growth and development and marketing. And, so there was a lot of hindrances in the previous setup. So with the new tokenomics moving forward, we'll have a percentage for staking, 2% of total volume. Asset backing, we'll get 1% total volume. Marketing on buys will have a 0.5%, development 0.5%, liquidity injection 0.5%, right? And on sells, it'll be 1% total higher, with 2% to staking, 1% to asset backing, 1% to marketing, 1% to development and growth, and 0.5% to liquidity injection. So you're forever pushing money into liquidity just to help stabilize the price. You're always giving to development and growth, and to marketing, and to asset backing for the token minimum value we just spoke about a few minutes ago, and to staking. So, and then you look at the SmartDeFi platform, the launchpad technology that I just mentioned a little bit ago. And this is what I meant about reiterating it. It all kind of comes back. So, you look at the SmartDeFi launchpad, every token that launches off there will have, let's say it can be 0.1 or 0.2%, right? Just a small marginal fee on buys and sells. Well, over time, as you have 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 projects, right? Launching off of this, off of the Ethereum blockchain, off the Binance Smart Chain, off AVAX, off Phantom, any EVM blockchain that we launch this on, right? We capitalize on these growing blockchains, and we put a launch pad out there that people can utilize. And if it catches on heavily, there's just so much potential for passive income on these. And then you look at FTW and you look at the cost of trading, it's so reduced because it's called FTW. It's from the wallet is what it is. And we say it from the wallet because one, FTW is really easy and it's very brandable. But two, it's because it literally goes from the wallet to another wallet and vice versa, right? There's no swap contract. And we did a lot of market research with this, and we looked at all these different platforms and they trade on a swap contract. So the difference and what makes it unique is that this is completely decentralized. There's no middleman. You're trading directly from one user to the other. And so that's what's fantastic about it. And so all these platforms, FTW as well, goes on multiple blockchains. So you're capitalizing on the Ethereum blockchain, Binance Smart Chain at the beginning, and then we push this out to multiple EVMs, and the passive income is coming from all these transactions on FTW, and every transaction from every token that's ever launched off of SmartDeFi Launchpad or on Binance Smart Chain from the Ethereum blockchain, and then from every other EVM blockchain that we put it on. So you're looking at exponential growth over time. It'll be obviously organic, and with the new tokenomic structure, our goal is to have the marketing ability to actually push this and put it in front of the eyes of the people to use it. And that, we went to Dubai, the crypto expo in Dubai this year in March, and we won best DeFi technology. And I think, that's for a reason. I mean, we have an amazing team that can build pretty much anything we need, and that's both front end and back end. And so, I mean, the sky's the limit really when it comes to this project. There's, been obviously it's ups and downs. There's, the market sentiment has been low, and you catch some, you know, some of the investors are, when is this price, when's the price going up? When's the price going up? It only comes down, and you get the sentiment from everything, and it's every project. And, you look at the overall market sentiment, and you look at the market as a whole, and you look at, traditional finance realm, you look at cryptocurrency and the correlation between the two, and you really can't just blame the token itself. But, it's constant. It's about education for us. So we educate. You purchase the token, you wait for the technology to come out. And honestly, in my opinion, I think the believers of the technology, those who are invested now, and you're buying in at the bottom, not financial advice obviously, but those that buy in the bottom, and ride it out to the board next positive cycle here, you're going to see some tremendous gains. And that's not just for our token, obviously, right? That's for anything that you invest in over time. So the passive income obviously is fantastic, and also the decentralization for us, not having somebody custodian your assets is a huge thing. And I think for everybody, and, having come from a world of traditional finance before I got into cryptocurrency, you just get tired of everybody manipulating everything. So the most you can do to keep it out of, one central entity, the better, in my opinion.
That's so true because actually it's kind of also coming back to the roots of crypto because like it started with decentralization. It has to come to it again at some point. And actually it's great to see that there are so many projects out there, obviously including FEG, that are saying it out loud. So yes, we need to remove middleman. Yes, we need to kind of think about self-custody because I read this very, very long thread on Twitter today when people were complaining how hard self custody is. So, how hard it is to use non custodial wallets, how hard it is to use non custodial exchanges. But actually, when you compare it to what's been around like 5 years ago, now it's super easy. So, and it's becoming easier with projects thinking more about it. So, I think personally, at least, that we are going to come to this point in the space where decentralization and self custody are going to be not only like the buzzwords, but the standard and at the massive scale. This is
Absolutely. I
like
think
the reassuring word. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, if people are afraid of it, right? And there was nothing easy about cryptocurrency in the beginning. It's like you're using these long numbers, OX, and all these numbers following it. This is my address, But there are some platforms that are out there that are really making user interfaces friendly, capitalizing on, QR technology, QR code technologies and such. And so, I mean, with the scan of a button, people are used to using it with Snapchat, et cetera, adding this and doing this. So, the technologies are there, the integration is, the possibilities are there. And we can definitely see how in the future things are going to be much simpler, right? There's even unstoppable domains. I mean, they have like, you can buy a domain, you can add a bunch of wallets in the background, and then you just send it you just send it to somebody, right? You can just use their username and send it to them, and it goes to their pre-designated address for, every cryptocurrency, et cetera. So there are multiple ways that we can do this. And then, even fiat onboarding, there's many projects that are out there that are looking at how to make, fiat on-ramps more accessible, readily accessible to users, and, with larger, minimum and maximum inputs and outputs. So there's a lot of things coming in the space. I mean, we all know that we're super early, but it won't be the way forever. And when it's not, and everybody else jumps on the boat, we're sitting luxury, and people are just trying to get comfortable. So have it for what you will.
That's true. That's true. Actually, there is a great question from a person whose nickname I can't pronounce, I'm sorry. And it says that it's actually about the topic that we just discussed, that non-crypto users will be onboarding one day. And it says non-crypto users are very important for mainstream adoption, which is super true. And how are you planning to attract non-crypto users to your project? And are there any upcoming partnerships that will bring non-crypto users into crypto?
Well, I mean, that goes to education, right? Exposure. And so that goes back to the discussion about marketing that we had and, forming proper alliances and putting ourselves out there. And so, like I mentioned, we went to Dubai back in March, and I met so many people. I was there. A number of the team members are there. Many of the admins, the mods, marketing team members were there. Community members from all over the world flew in just to hear us, see us at our booth and hear me speak on stage for 8 minutes, So it was really humbling. And again, appreciate everybody that came out there and everybody who spent their own dollars, to make that journey. But what I realized out there was that people loved the technology and what we were bringing to the table. And I think they'll love what we're doing now as we're pivoting the ecosystem. But at the same time, you have to put it in front of the people, right? And so there's so much on, these algorithms on all these social media platforms, and it gets more and more diluted, right, with cryptocurrency and all these different scams and et cetera, et cetera. People coming out with different tokens every day that, don't have a true functionality or true utility behind them. So it's easy to get lost in the mix. So now that we're adjusting the tokenomics to have, like, as I mentioned before, on the buys, a 0.5% for every buy transaction on our token, and every sell transaction, 1% transaction fee, we're going to take those marketing funds, coupled with those that come from the SmartDeFi launchpad. Part of that will go to marketing as well. Part of FTW transactions will go to marketing as well. So everything will feed staking, marketing, and development. And so you take those funds and you put them into different areas that allow you to be seen and to grow, right? So whatever comes about from the marketing, but also I think it would be fantastic for us to get ourselves out there, to start attending mainstream once all the platforms are obviously launched and running and on multiple blockchains. I think we were around since January of 2021, and February on the Binance Smart Chain is when FEG came about, of 2021 as well. And it wasn't until March of this year that we went to Dubai, and it was because we needed to have an ecosystem that was built out, that was functional and running. And I'll give you the number one question that came from experienced traders, whether it be traditional finance that were exploring this, or it was cryptocurrency investors who were just trying to sift through the nonsense at the booth. And I think anybody who was there with me can vouch for this. And it was the first thing they came up and said, "What's your utility?" Right? What's your utility? So they didn't want to hear from somebody who just had a token who was going to promise to build something, in a year or 2 years or 3 years. They wanted to hear what you did and how you did it, and they wanted to see it. Now, we had an amazing booth that was designed by Dubo, one of our designers, the head designer for our, does digital media. Shout out to Big Media, his media company. And he put up together an amazing design for the booth. And we had all these platforms that we were able to show and all these screens on there. Shout out to Frankie who helped pick the booth with a few others. And we got the booth together and we had all these screens. We were able to show the technology and put it right in the user's face. And when they saw it and they heard it when I was on stage, it resonated with them, right? People wanted to know more about it. We ran out of pamphlets in the first several hours of the first day. Frankie was scrambling to find a printer to get more documents printed so that we could share our information. I mean, it was just flying off the shelves, and it was because we put it in front of the users, right? So I think for us, the biggest thing is going to be finding ways to put ourselves in front of people and educate them on what we're bringing. And so a good example of the education that we have is obviously the docs.fegtoken.com, our Git book, which is created by a number of members on the team. Big shout out to Almarius and Kos and Fanik and Plutos, who have helped build this document up. I also make some edits on there. So there's several of us that really put a lot of work into trying to make education documents. Shout out to Chris, who's one of the admins who has created a fantastic white paper for what we've been doing. And then shout out to all the moderators and in the text chat and the voice chat who we have a 24-hour customer service voice chat where you can come in at FEG chat on Telegram, and no matter what time of the day it is, there's a moderator that covers that chat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You come in, you have a question, whether that question be about the ecosystem itself, or you want to talk about, the cryptocurrency as a market as a whole and the market sentiment. I mean, there's a bunch of different dialogues that go in there. Everybody that's in there is mostly friends, so people talk to each other. Some of the mods or admins will video share and talk to each other. Over at usually at nighttime when it's slower, they'll be talking to each other about things. And so you go in, you ask any question you need, you get help, and we really try to emphasize putting the education in front of you. And I think we're going to prioritize putting the project in front of users' eyes. And so the traditional finance realm, I think they're also going to be really enjoy, what we've been doing when it comes to our logo design. So we're going to rebrand. Not only are we migrating the token in Q4 of this year, we're also going through a rebranding. And so there's been an amazing amount of work that's been put into design. And so we actually just pushed this yesterday. We had 4 AMAs that Dubo held. He's our lead designer that I mentioned before, and many of the design team also helped. Him and the rest of the design team built out these amazing logos, and they presented us with 3 options, 4 options if you count the third one having an alternative option. And it's fantastic because it looks so professional. So they put out these new logos. We have a new logo for FEG itself, right? And then we have an icon for all of the suites, right? The suite of tools. So you have FEG logo, and then you have a logo for SmartDeFi. You have a logo for the aggregator that's custom built that I spoke on earlier, and for FTW that I spoke on. And so we're trying to professionalize it and move away from the gorilla face itself, just that. And that's because of the fact that, well, we're still pending a vote from the community, but the acceptance of the option 3, which is changing the logo design, has been overwhelming from the community. Everybody's been on board, but it looks like that's the direction that it may lead from the, with the voting. But, if we do that and we have a suite of tools, we're moving away from the meme and we're going towards a more professional look, a clean look. And I think that'll attract, traditional finance users. And you look at the decentralized finance space and you look at the meme culture over the past couple of years, and there's been nothing but tons of scams and things. It's been really hard to break into, people trusting these projects instead of somebody just looking for a quick pump and dump, because the culture has just driven it in that direction. And I won't talk bad about any individual projects or anything. And that's just the nature of the beast when you have something that's unregulated, right? You're always going to have some that are trying to take advantage. And so it's our desire even with our technology to mitigate that, right? But also to educate and push people in the right direction. So there's a lot coming when it comes to that, but the logo and the design, if you haven't seen it, definitely go into FEG chat and take a look at the pinned messages. You'll see the deck with the pitch deck with all of the options there, and just have a read at it. It's fantastic. I think you'll really enjoy it, and you'll see what it is that we're trying to do and bring a new professional sense to this decentralized project, and make ourselves more of a DeFi technology organization rather than just recognized as some sort of meme culture. So I hope that answers that question for you.
Thank you. Actually, that's great to see the transition from like the kind of meme cryptocurrency and a meme project to something bigger than that. And actually, many great projects went through this phase, so it's really lovely to see FEG going there as well. And definitely go and take a look at the new designs, because probably we'll have them on StealthEX soon. So it's better to take a look. Actually, you've mentioned the team, and there is a question about the team. And I know that the team is actually super responsive. They always, if we need something as partners and if we want to do something, they're always on board. Like everybody's answering, and there's been no problems with that. Absolutely. And could you tell us more about the team's history and like what are your goals together? And probably just give a shout out again because that was really great.
Yeah, absolutely. So the team is actually made up of such a diverse group, and so I wasn't part of the team at the conception of the project, right? I was just a volunteer. I was actually in medical school when FEG Token was launched, and we got so involved with everything. And I think it was like October of 2021 when FegRox, which is our lead developer, who's been in countless projects in the decentralized finance space, decided to build his own project, right? And it was derived from the distaste for rug pulls, and I think him and several others had been into several projects and just been getting that just taken advantage of, and so he built this project. and then rebranded it about the first week, and everything just kind of everything kind of shifted, and said, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to build this application. We're going to put this decentralized exchange up, and we're going to do all these things, and we're going to do it in our own way, a custom way. We're going to build it from scratch." And that's exactly what happened. And so I ended up leaving my third year of medical school and jumping into running, FEG token full time, and doing this as essentially trading as a career, cryptocurrency as a career. And so now we have a diverse team that's just made up of, I know there was so many origin admins, some beginning admins, several of which are still with us, most of which are actually still with us. I think a couple have gone their way from personal issues, or just, not having the time because of things going on in their traditional life, work and things of that nature. So they step back, but many have been, willing to help out as we move forward with things that are coming. But I mean, we're all over the world. FEG is a global project. It's community driven. All the team members are from all different places around the world. We have, if you go into FEG token chat and you type /languages, I think we have 45 or 46 language chats now.
Wow.
And, to manage all these chats, we have a global admin chat, which actually is made up of one or two of the admins or moderators from each global chat. And it allows us to send, updates in real time. So anytime we put an update out in the main chat, we send an update into global admin chat, we pin it, they all get a notification, and then they share that message with their respective communities and translate it for us. We also have a designated translation group who do that as well. Even on our applications, we're working on putting, if you go to our FegTrack application, if you go to fegtrack.app online, we have multiple languages for the application. So we're working on making our platforms have multilingual. So it really just helps everybody with the ease of use and understanding it's a global project. We don't want to, hyper focus on only one language or one group of people. So we really try to make it diverse. When it comes to the moderators, it's the same thing. We have a fantastic team of moderators that manage all the chats, and they come from all over the world. They're fantastic. So it's difficult to give one small answer for such a broad scope of team. I mean, everybody comes from a diverse background. You have, professional traders. You have those that come from a traditional finance world. You have designers. You have videographers. You have, different people that do blockchain. We have students. Big shout out to Balgu, who's one of our lead developers. He's a student. He just aced his bachelor. Now he's in his master's. He's a Solidity developer, one of our Solidity devs alongside FegRox. And so he's been smashing it out for us. Big shout out to Tommy, who's lives out in Croatia, and he's our front end lead front end developer. He does most of our UI stuff, managing that. And big shout out to Romy and Akina. All these guys are infrastructure guys. I mean, we have just an amazing team that push out all this content, all the materials that we need. And then we have Frankie, our Ginger Scott, who is our head of marketing. I know you've interacted with him several times. He's fantastic. He does FEG full time as well. He's our head of marketing. We have just an amazing group of people. And Fanik, who is also, she's up here in Canada. She's one of the admins on the team. I had to trick her to basically become part of the team. Just told her that it wouldn't take up much of her time. Here we are a year and a half later, and she still throws it at me that I convinced her to join the team. But we recruit team members because it's a volunteer project. We recruited team members based off of their interaction, engagement with the community, right? So I look for people, and the team members look for people, and the admins, and we say, hey, this person's been really engaging, and they do this every day, and so we'd really like to bring them in, and a perfect example of that is our welcome girl, right? And that's Destiny, one of the admins, who was just in the chat and by herself welcoming. This was early on in the chat, right before it was 110,000 people or so, and you could keep up with the inflow of people. She would say welcome to everybody that came in and greet them, right? And then we acknowledged that and brought her into the admin team. And she's been a part of the admin team ever since, and it does a fantastic job, keeping track of all the things, of all the names and everybody on the team and the moderators, and helps me with the global chats and such, and with the moderators there, and managing everybody who's active and inactive, and filters through the mods in the global chats. Does a fantastic job with that. And our insights are always great as well. So really, and come from a different background. She runs a family business, with her family. And it's just, everybody comes from a different background, right? But cryptocurrency knows no limit. And, when you're in an emerging space, it's hard to say, how's this person a professional in this area, right? So it's difficult to say that, and then put a figure on, or put an expertise behind how you are to run it. I didn't think to myself when I was in medical school that I'd be global, quote unquote, global project manager for a cryptocurrency token, having left school for that, but here we are, right? And so we'll just keep going, and everybody has the same ideology in mind, right? The goal is obviously to push this forward. We all really want decentralization in the finance realm and cryptocurrency especially. And I think the biggest thing in the cohesiveness from our project really comes from the desire to help one another and for people just to be kind and to look after one another. And I think you can see that when you go into the chat, you go into our main chat, you go into the voice chat, and people will literally jump off the chat and get on a call with you and walk you through setting up a MetaMask, or setting up, how to do this trade, or, all these things. People just really look out for each other in our ecosystem and our community. And I think that's why I'll always reiterate that our community is our number one strength. And with that, I think we'll have the potential to go as far can be. So that's pretty much all I want to say on the team aspect.
Thank you. Those are very heartwarming words. I think that crypto is the space for everybody as well. I haven't seen any person with particular blockchain education, probably because it doesn't exist though. But anyway, yeah, it's a place where we all unite, and we better be nice to each other. That's another thing. And it's great to hear that in FEG community it is like this. And actually, that would be a great time when we go to community questions. What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to take them.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm just gonna start putting people in the kind of order that I have them on my screen. And the first is Doer, who's connecting right now and putting up hearts, so I'm sure they're aware. Yeah, it just takes a little bit time to connect, so it's
Oh,
always
no problem.
kind of this way. And something happened to the request, so I'm gonna just do it again probably. I'll just wait for a little bit. So, oh, something is wrong with the requests, I guess. Okay, we'll try Doer. We don't forget you. I'm just gonna try with somebody else and to see if everything is working correctly, because for some reason I just can't put people online this time, but it should be working, I guess. Usually it works perfectly. So,
Hello?
I don't know, it takes longer today than usual. Oh, yeah, it's
That's
okay.
okay.
And
Everyone
we
is okay.
have Emeka, who is here right now. Hello? Hi, you can ask a question now. Hello,
I
can you
don't
hear us?
I don't know if it's
I,
a Twitter space issue because I can hear everything you're saying and you can hear me, but I think the
I can,
users are having issues connecting.
yeah, that is probably true. So we're going to
Um,
try with
why don't we see
someone
if we can answer
else. Yeah,
questions that are, I think that there's on the bottom right corner of Twitter space that has a comment section. So
yeah,
those
yeah,
that are
yeah. There is.
commenting on it, maybe we can take a couple questions from the comments there.
Yeah, sure. There is one that I want to answer if you don't mind.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Yeah, it says, where can I buy FEG tokens right now? And I would probably answer, you can buy them on StealthEX because we have FEG token listed and we're proud to have it and very happy to have it. And you can buy it right to your wallet, so you don't have to hold any money on the platform. And as we already discussed, decentralization is important. So if it's an important issue for you as well, we'd be happy to have you on the platform. So that was from me. But uh,
Absolutely. So you get it at StealthX, you get it at a number of centralized exchanges. Obviously, Uni and PCS are there as well, but definitely go to StealthX first, check it out. And I've not used your platform yet, but I will definitely take a look at your platform and see
yeah,
what
please
other
do.
tokens you use because I tend to degen sometimes myself. So
Who doesn't though? Yeah, we'll be happy to have you too. And if you have some feedback, please drop some in the chat or in Twitter. We love feedback.
Something that's also humbling is that we just presented our logo out yesterday, the logo options. And if you look in the chat, you can see 2 or 3 of the users, actually their profile picture is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
is the F with the SD, that's FEG SD. Since we're launching off our SmartDeFi platform, you can see that in the users here. Many are already using that as their logo. That's how much they love the design. So shout out to FEG supporter, and also
No, that
to B in FEG equals free will, and
I
also
think the
Akbar.
design is great. Yeah, the design is great. I've seen many people using it actually in the questions under the main post as well. So, like, should we change the logo on StealthEX already, or should we wait a little bit until the voting is over?
It's up to you. I can see a couple of questions have just come in under the comments if you want me to take a stab at those.
Yeah, of course.
So here somebody says, security system of a company is very important in order to avoid hackers. How do you do the security of a project? Do you have a special security team for projects under company? And do you also provide special security guarantees for users and investors? So I don't think there's any guarantees in security, obviously, because the security companies that provide third-party audits, they don't offer a guarantee themselves because this blockchain and everything in the Solidity contracts, everything is new and ever changing. And if you look at cryptocurrency space around us, many of even the largest of organizations have experienced some sort of exploit in the past. In respects to our security, we very much do put a heavy emphasis on security. We have a partnership with Ethos, which is a white hat hacking organization out of Argentina. They've been a partner with us since relatively early in 2021, and so big shout out to them. They've done a fantastic job managing most of our front end stuff for us, and they'll continue to do so. We are currently in conversations with a number of third-party auditing companies for the contracts that are coming out, because all of the contracts that are going to be publicly used for public trading on our platforms are going to run through third-party audit. And those, I don't have a specific one for you yet. Once the contracts that we currently have are done with the team testing, we can push those. We'll get an NDA signed, obviously, and to protect the intellectual property. And we'll send those contracts once the NDAs are completed. We'll send the contracts to them, and they'll give us a quote for the contract. So length of the code, complexity of the code, etc. All of our code tends to be maxed out on the Solidity contract size. So, those are definitely there, but they need to see the complexity of the code, which is one aspect that they put a heavy emphasis on when they quote you a dollar value for these audits. So, yes, security is a big thing for us. We'll have all of our front end stuff done by Tadis, as I mentioned, and everything will run through third-party audit before it goes live.
Actually, there is one more question about it, and it's from Doer, who couldn't connect. So I believe that would be fair if we
Yeah, go
go
ahead.
through this one as well. And it says, with so many projects being rug pulls and exit scams happening nowadays, what would you offer to the users of your platform to earn their trust, and how would you make you different from other projects alike?
Well, we've been around since January of 2021. I mean, even if you go to PCS, they listed us as a low risk project just because of the longevity of it. So, I mean, everybody's faces are out there. We use our identities are up. I mean, I was on stage in Dubai. Frankie was there. Frankie's full name is out there. We have one of our lead developers, Tommy. He's out there. His name's on our applications. Many of the team are visible. Nobody's really hiding. It's the visibility is all there. We're all very readily accessible, like you mentioned earlier. If you have anything you want from us, we're very transparent in coming out and talking about it. We do these community AMAs. We have a voice chat. We have a main chat. You can come in and ask questions, and we're always happy to answer those questions. Obviously, there's a level of privacy when it comes to decentralized finance because self-custody, we all understand the risks with that, right? You don't want people exactly knowing where you live because people tend to, try to take advantage of that situation. They come try and take your ledgers or, hold you up for your cryptocurrency, et cetera. So obviously, when you do self-custody in the cryptocurrency realm right now, it's definitely, there's a barrier of privacy that needs to stay intact. And many people aren't comfortable sharing names and locations. So, we want to respect that privacy. Some of the team members themselves, they don't do that just for the safety and security of their families, et cetera. So we don't force anybody to do that either. But I mean, I myself as a project manager went, to Dubai on stage, everybody saw me there. So, I'm not gonna put my full name or my address out on the space, but definitely, I'll be at these functions. If we do another crypto expo, I'll be there. So we're not hiding. We're here in the plain sight. What kind of earn the trust? I mean, we're running everything through third-party audits. We have an amazing Solidity team that's running internal security testing, and then external security testing will obviously come from there. The rug pulls, I think I mentioned before that this project was actually derived from the distaste for rug pulls. So, that's obviously not something we're trying to do. We're trying to build real platforms with real utility and passive income driven, right? So the dollar value of your token shouldn't be as important as the amount of rewards and passive income that you can earn from it, right? So for me, I just keep accumulating as much as I can on the low, because when the platforms come, we push them out on multiple blockchains. I don't really care about the dollar value of the token because I don't want to sell the token. I want to have as much of the token as I can, because the rewards that come in are based on the percentage of ownership you have in the staking pool, right? So that's how the rewards are distributed. So for me, I don't really care much about the dollar value of the token as much as I care about pushing out a product that actually works, that has incentive, and people actually utilize. So that's how I feel about that. I hope that answers your question, Doer, and I appreciate you being here.
And there's a question from Emeka as well, and it says, does FEG consider feedback from the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I answered this question also in an AMA yesterday. So feedback from the community is a big thing. When we initially had launched our exchange, that is no longer out right now because we're pivoting from the exchange model on the swap contracts to this FCW, which is peer-to-peer limit order trading. We actually put it out as a beta, right? And we put it out as a beta, let people use it. And actually, what was funny was that the background, the background of everything came from a community member. The feedback for how to use the UI, many of that was suggestion from the community. Even now, while we're building what we're building, the FTW and everything, a lot of that feedback, we pushed out the UI to users. We got feedback on that. They've made changes. They made subtle changes to the user interface for users. We have testing groups. Obviously, the team is made up of community members. So the team has been doing internal testing, and they've been pushing feedback. We pushed out yesterday. We had 4 different AMAs that Duba hosted, our lead designer, and he hosted those AMAs to explain the logo design and get the feedback from the community, right? And then we actually had previously we had an on-chain vote. So your vote was based off the weight of how many tokens you held, and it was on-chain, so they couldn't be manipulated like in Telegram where people can bot it. So you had to vote on-chain. So we've actually built we've got a voting system that's on-chain, built by Balgu, one of our Solidity devs who I mentioned earlier. And so we really take community feedback to heart. When we were in Dubai, we spoke to the community, and I think that was one of the biggest things. Everybody, felt like they had an input and a say in how things were being run. Obviously, as we mentioned before, nobody went to school for cryptocurrency management, but everybody has great ideas, and I think it's the facilitation of these ideas that makes our project great, right? I always tell the rest of the team, like, I'm not the talent, you're the talent. I just help facilitate the talent, and that's because these guys do such an amazing job. It's really just about making sure that everybody is moving in the same direction and that everybody's actually communicating. So if everybody would just talk to each other, then I wouldn't have a position in this project. I just have to make sure that everybody is able to, be on the same page. And so that's literally how I see it. But, everybody else, we've been doing a fantastic job. I think if there's anything else that you have a question on that for community stuff, you have any input, definitely bring it to the FEG chat. If you type in /suggestion in FEG chat and then you type something, it actually gets sent to a suggestion channel that we monitor. And so we take the feedback like that as well. So we help integrate things from the community as well from that standpoint. So we really do the best we can, taking the feedback from the community and implementing it into everything that we do. So open to suggestion all the time, anytime.
So if you have a suggestion, Emeka, please just go for it. There is one more question, actually from the older ones from Twitter, but I want to know an answer to this question. And FEG stands for Feed Every Gorilla, but why Feed Every Gorilla?
So the Feed Every Gorilla is more of like when you say you're ape in or we're gorillas, we ape into projects and this and that. So it's more of a play on words, and it's a community thing. It means like feed everybody around you, feed every gorilla. As we go in this, the literal sense of that is that we also have a partnership with Pan African Sanctuary Alliance. Since we've had Colin, one of the admins, he's a young student. He's been taking a little bit of a break just for school, but he's one of the admins. He arranged that partnership with Pan African Sanctuary Alliance, where we were giving them, I think in 2021, we sent them around like 100 and some odd $1,000 in donations to help feed the apes and monkeys in their sanctuary. So they have 23 coalitions in 13 countries in Africa, and we help to feed all the gorillas and apes and monkeys in their within their care. And they help to do different things. They do wildlife protection and community education, research, and poaching prevention, etc. So there's a literal sense behind it, but there's also the figurative, which is everybody helping each other and taking care of one another. And that's the sense of cohesiveness that we spoke about earlier in the community.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you for the incentiveness you have for helping the animals. I hugely support that too, and have been an animal fan of my life, like all my life, but mostly birds though. Somehow that happens. Yeah.
And we love it. We honestly love it. I'm a big animal person myself, but the work that they do is fantastic. I think one of our community members, shout out to Mad DeFi guys, John Blon and Eli and Carlos, those guys that have run the Mad DeFi channel. They actually interviewed the CEO for Pan-African Sanctuary Alliance, and they do such an amazing job and such great work. So just wanted to give them, Pan-African Sanctuary Alliance definitely a big shout out. And if you haven't ever visited them, I believe their website is pasa.org. If you'd like to take a look at Pan-African Sanctuary Alliance. So you can see us as one of the official sponsors on their website as well. So PASA, it's PASA.org if you want to take a look and ever donate. They take donations in fiat and also in cryptocurrency. So
do you actually think that crypto and different kind of like nonprofit organizations and donations they're already quite an alliance, because in many places you can donate with crypto, but do you think it will grow to something else, so like more foundations supporting nonprofit organizations or something like this? This is not a question from the chat. I invented it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've actually, I've interacted through the networking FEG has joined the Crypto Legends group, and we did like a large AMA with several groups, numerous projects. And what I learned from those projects is that there's many out there that are there for the welfare of people that are doing charity work for not only animals but for people as well. There are clean water initiatives, there are food initiatives, there are healthcare initiatives, there's education initiatives. There's just so many different things, and there are also projects out there that are actually listed as nonprofit organizations. So different cryptocurrencies out there. So you have what's in the inner workings of people that are really trying to make cryptocurrency into something that's beautiful. We also run a project called FEG Scholar, and that's actually a scholarship program that we send backpacks, rulers, notebooks. I think in the Philippines, we did the Philippines in December. Those gave 50 prosthetic devices out to children with disabilities. And we teach financial literacy through some modules that were founded from the Singapore financial literacy modules. And we had one of the team members' siblings is an educator and helped to structure these for several different age groups. And so we're teaching financial literacy to children, to the parents, and to the teachers alike, and helping to set a foundation for understanding an emerging market and teach a skill that can help somebody in the long term, right? And bring that education sense to them. And I think our next location is going to be in Haiti. So we're looking at getting some timeframes on that. There was some restrictions coming up because of COVID and things as of late. So we're definitely working with the governments out there, and our team is in communications with them. And so we're looking at doing Haiti next, and we've already got backpacks made and notebooks and everything of that nature already completed. And that was community funded as well, team and community funded. So whenever we decide we're going to do one of these locations, I think the last time we did it, we raised $15,000 in like 4 or 5 hours. And so we pushed that forward. So, we're really, really enjoying, giving back and helping communities around us. And so this project, as much as we talk about it being, decentralized project and about finance and trading platforms, there's a humanitarian effort behind it as well, and also caring for the animals. So we're doing our best to make an impact. I think as we move forward, we can definitely, as we grow our platform, we can look at making the marketing budget, can see what we can do with that, and we can definitely move into different realms and make strategic partnerships with different companies that do clean water, food initiatives, and things of that nature, and education around the world. I would love, and I know several of our team members would, everybody in our community would really love to see our education program grow and to become, utilized in different schools around the world. I think in Haiti, we're going actually to an orphanage. I think it's 200 children in an orphanage there, and then 100 at a neighboring school. So there's a lot of good that can be done. and through cryptocurrency. And I think a lot of these projects, though there have been some that I've seen that were malicious, there's a lot of good ones out there that are looking at making an impact. And so when you trade the token, right, you're giving a percentage of that to a charity. And so, there's ways that you can do this while everybody has an opportunity to make money at the same time, and it allows them to give back. And this is what happens when you decentralize trading and you decentralize funds, the finance realm. You're not, instead of giving that money, that middleman money, to a bank or some entity, you're actually taking that and you're allocating that funding towards something good, to helping others. So, you take it away from centralized organization and you give it back. And so nobody's upset about a small percent going to helping others. And I think that's the beauty of cryptocurrency. It allows you to make decisions on what you want to do with your funds. It allows you to earn passive income on your money instead of some organization taking your money and lending it out and making a dime off of what's yours. So I hope that answers
and
that question.
hopefully also making the world better in the meantime. So I have one more question, and it's actually pretty organizational. Do you have to run somewhere because we're almost talking for an hour, or should we try to take a couple more live questions if that works?
No, I'm okay. I can stay until the end, until we see fit.
Okay, perfect. So we'll try to connect some people again. Because it usually works. I don't know why it doesn't work today, but also Twitter Spaces are very unpredictable, so it can happen that something just goes wrong. It would be a shame if it goes wrong today during the AMA though, but we can't really influence that. And I am trying to connect right now. And no, I think it's just something with Twitter Spaces today, unfortunately, because it takes like forever. But maybe we have some like, oh yeah, actually we do. You can speak now.
Okay,
You're
thank you for
oh
this
perfect.
opportunity. My question is about globalization. So, do you have local community for those users that did not understand English very well, more especially like Asian country and African country? For me, I came from African country, but in my community, we have a lot of people that does not understand English. So, in your community, if you have those people that do not understand English, how do you handle them if they have like problem? So how do you handle them?
Yeah, so if you go to the FEG chat in Telegram and you type in there /languages, or you just ask, hey, do you have a chat for this region? Somebody will pop up the list for you to take a look. I mentioned previously that we have about 45 or 46 different countries or regional chats for FEG token that are managed by moderators in those respective areas. So they speak the native language. So if you go into the main FEG chat and you ask for direction, somebody will send you to the proper location for that. And if there's a region that is not covered, you can send me a request, and we can look at getting a regional chat started up and moderating that. We'll start up a chat and then give you admin rights to it and let you begin, moderating that chat if that's something that you see that's lacking in your area. So that's how we handle those situations.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for your answer.
Thank
Yeah,
you
no
very
problem.
much for
Thank
the
you for the
question
question.
too. Thank you, and I'm super glad that we actually could connect because it's not the same without the live questions. Like live questions are the thing of the AMAs, and I am connecting Jack OP or Jack Ope. I'm actually not sure, but yeah, hopefully it just like we have to wait a little bit today. I guess that's the main problem, but I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, I agree. I always love the live stuff. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Go
we can
ahead. We
hear
can hear
you.
you.
Okay, cool. Okay, so my question is like, FEG is already a big project. They have a big community, but still many people did not understand the real value of FEG. So how you gonna convince them to join your project, especially the Web2 users? And I have one more question about the market. Like, to survive in tough crypto market condition is difficult. So we see that many projects are far from the targets. So what is your project strategy to survive in this long blockchain marathon?
Yeah, absolutely. So To answer your first part of your question, getting people into the user base is, we spoke about education previously, right? So we have, with this new migration in Q4, we're going to be integrating a tokenomics change where we bring marketing funds to the project based on the tokenomics. We can use that marketing budget to help push ourselves out there, whether that be through articles, through education, through taking the project and putting up a booth at different expos and getting ourselves out there and making ourselves known. We're going to do this once obviously the platforms are launched out, because we want to make sure that we have a true utility when we're ready to do this and present the project, so that it's we're not saying, hey, look at what we're doing in the future. We're saying, hey, look at what we have, look at what we're going to do. We're doing now. So that's the first part of that question. The second part is, we all know the markets move in cycles. I think that during the bearish trends, the only thing that you can do is, I'm not a financial advisor, but for me, I'll just tell you my strategy. I just dollar cost average in the best I can, and note the sentiment of the market. When everybody's bearish, that's typically the best time to buy, people say, right? And when everybody's bullish, that's the best time to sell. The market moves in cycles like that, and so when you see people on TV talking about how Bitcoin is the best, that's probably because it's about to come down, because it's oversaturated. So the way that the cycles move, right? Not financial advice again, but personally, I just dollar cost average in. The project in itself, what are we doing to survive this? We're continuing to build, right? So if stagnation is death, so we're going to keep moving this project forward, obviously building and creating new user platforms and keeping ahead of the curve when it comes to the changes in technology in the cryptocurrency space, and adapting, right? You have to be able to pivot. And I think the fantastic part about what we have and what our team is that we obviously have the ability to do anything that needs to be done. We can create anything we need to create. We can change anything we need to change. And that's because we have such a fantastic team on both the development side, on the back end and the front end. So that's how we'll handle, the growth and the adoption and sustainability throughout the bearish market.
Wow, great answer. Thank you very much for this. And thank you very much, StealthEX, for this opportunity and bringing such a great project on the stage.
Oh, thank you. That's our pleasure. And yeah, we love having our fellow projects on board. And thank you very much for the question, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. Thanks for being here.
And we have Adam, who I've seen here before. I'm sure that he has been on our other AMAs and he had great questions. So hopefully we can hear you, Adam. You're muted though. Hey, Adam, you can speak now.
Just make sure you unmute yourself, Adam. No, it's saying you're connecting on his end. I'm not sure he has it might just be another Telegram issue.
Yeah, something happened here, so we will try again. Yeah, today it's like it's not working perfectly the way we wanted, but again, there are many questions, so I'm sure that it's gonna be fine. And we have Lucky as a speaker now.
Can you? Yeah. Okay. My question is that security is the most important thing to consider when starting up a project. How secure is this project for users and investors? Thank you.
Absolutely. So we talked a little bit about security and on third-party audits moving forward. So we have a white hat hacking organization called the Ethos. They are out of Argentina, and they've been doing all of our front-end security stuff for the last since early 2021. And they're an official partner of ours. You can find their link to their website on fegtoken.com under partners. Also, we are in conversations with numerous auditing companies. Once we finish constructing the contracts and making subtle changes, we're going to get non-disclosure agreements signed with said companies, and we'll go ahead and get those contracts audited by third party. So that's the best any that we can do when it comes to cryptocurrency space. And so we'll have constant management of our security through Ethos, and constant any project, any platform, or any contract code that's going to be used for public trading will actually run through a third party audit. So that's what we're doing for safety and security. I appreciate the question.
Thank you for the answer. I appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you.
Okay, and we're connecting to Thunder, and hopefully it goes well. I'll probably take like a couple more questions. Hey,
Yeah, that's
Thunder,
no problem.
can you hear us?
Hi. So my question is,
Hey.
what are the challenges you are trying to solve in the next 6 to 12 months? What roles do you see your project is playing within the Web 2 and Web 3 world?
So the challenges that we're facing, honestly, the main challenge is always not trying to get ahead of ourselves and maintaining an adequate pace when it comes to pushing out product, right? Everybody is always, when is this going to come out? When does this come out? I think pacing yourself and making sure that you have proper testing and internal testing and internal security testing, and then obviously taking the things to audit and making sure that everything is built correctly and functions appropriately. You don't want to bring out a new ecosystem like we're doing and kind of, I don't want to say just half-ass it and, rush things, because that's where errors come into play. And so we want to definitely make sure we take our time. We build a solid product that works, that is safe and secure for the user, because protecting the user funds is the highest of the highest importance to us. So you want to make sure that everything is done correctly. What we're trying to bring to this space, in pretty much in general, is true decentralization in trading and cryptocurrency trading. Our goal would be to bring education of cryptocurrency to the rest of the world, and bring those that are in the traditional finance realm into the cryptocurrency realm. And so definitely blockchain and cryptocurrency space is the future of finance, and my eyes, and I think most of the team's eyes. But there are some hurdles and some regulatory bodies that are definitely making these things a little bit more difficult. But as the FEG token is not domiciled in any country, it's completely decentralized. There's no owner of the project, and it's community driven. We don't see any issues with any of these things. So as we move forward, our biggest objective is going to be to make a product that works, that brings passive income to the users, and allows the users the control of their assets, whether that be using their tokens, using their money to buy FEG token and to stake it and earn passive income, or utilizing our platforms to trade any other token through our aggregator, or trading wallet to wallet with other users on FTW. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much for your great answer, and all the very best for your future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Thank you for the well wishes, and thank you for the question. And probably going on to the last question from Oslo. I believe that they are already in the FEG community, judging by their handle. So, hello. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, and thanks for giving me this great opportunity to ask my question. Like, I actually noticed that most of the questions people had during the AMA session asked about the strength of the project. So at this time, can we talk about your difficulties and challenges? Like, what difficulties did you face developing your project, and how did you overcome them? Thank you.
Absolutely. So difficulties are definitely a part of anything. So as we've been building this product, we ran into difficulties in the beginning with building the FEGX. There was issues with the user interface connecting to the back end. There's been difficulty with writing the contracts. When the development team runs into an issue, they have to troubleshoot it. There's thousands and thousands of lines of code, and so it's an issue for them to go through all these things over time. Many of you who are in the cryptocurrency, who are in FEG and familiar with FEG, know that there was an exploit on one of the swap contracts that caused us to halt the trading of the SmartDeFi tokens, the initial SmartDeFi tokens, where we had liquidity locked within the token themselves, which is why now we've actually halted the trading of those tokens, and we're rebuilding the exploit contract that exploiters use to drain some of the funds that they drained from Rox token and FEG token and a couple of the other projects, smaller projects. But we were able to lock those SmartDeFi tokens with the help of PeckShield security company. And so that was an issue, right? That was definitely an obstacle and a hurdle. I think they drained about $4.5 million from there. So we'll be using the development and the marketing funds to help, and the token liquidity injection off the tokenomics to help generate that liquidity back. And we're going through, and we have a team of people that are going through and looking at every individual SmartDeFi project and FEGX project, and that was tokens that were listed on FEGX, and seeing what exactly the amounts were that were taken, and seeing about the liquidity recovery for that. So there's a lot of obstacles when it comes to going post exploit, right? So what we're doing is to combat this is we're moving to away from swap trading, right, where there's room for exploit. We're going to a person-to-person peer trading, limit order trading. We're going to aggregate the aggregator, which allows you to route through any DEX. We're going to SmartDeFi, which we change the SmartDeFi contract, no longer custodians the liquidity inside of the contract. We're going to have it functional for any centralized or decentralized exchange. You're able to toggle between RFI or non-RFI. You can select and change, different amounts. You can invest your tokens now. You can burn some at launch. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that are actually, an integrated presale with a number of different functionalities. So, you see a hiccup in the road, something happens like this, it impacts us, it impacts the user, and we're doing our best to recover from all of this. We're pivoting and changing our entire ecosystem in order to move and maneuver away from a situation where, there's room for exploit in the future. So you have to adapt the best you can. And this is definitely a situation that, was, stunned us all. Right. And it wasn't just us. I mean, the exploiters that got us, we tracked them down to 5 or 6 other exploits on multiple exchanges. And, we have security teams that are running scans on them and looking for them as well. And we've been, seeing some progress on narrowing down some of the exploit wallets and the transactions through other wallets that they scanned through or exploited through and been hacking through. So we're definitely looking at continuing the hunt for the liquidity that was taken. We've offered a bounty of returning 80% and keeping 20%, and calling a white hat hack or exploit. And so we've put those memos out on the blockchain. So we've been doing everything that we can in order to recover those funds. We'll also do everything we can to regenerate that liquidity and to redistribute it appropriately to investors or projects that were affected. So you do the best you can with what you have, and definitely that's the biggest obstacle that we faced, in my personal opinion. But I think that because of the cohesiveness of the team, the strength of the community, and all of us really putting our heads together and coming out with a plan to go move forward, I think overall, the silver lining of this is that we're going to be able to pivot ourselves and change the token, migrate to a new contract that's non-RFI, that allows us to be listed on centralized exchanges and really gives us a little bit more versatility. So out of the fires, we'll be reborn. Much like the Phoenix, but from here we'll see how we progress in the future.
All right, that's great. Thank you, and I wish you good luck in your project.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Oslo. Thank you for the question. And I believe that the positive note with the wrap up that everybody is reborn like a phoenix. Not sure about everybody, but definitely about FEG. We can wrap up this AMA session, and I'm just going to give RTRcrypto chance to say some closing words, probably, or like advice or anything that you would find suitable for the end of the AMA.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say thank you. First, I want to thank you at StealthEX for hosting us. I want to thank everybody who attended. I know many of you have been in the FEG community for a long time. I see several of the team members in here, so obviously thank you guys. Big shout out to everybody who holds this project down, from the moderators, the admins, the global moderators, and admins as well, the marketing development, the translation team, the social media teams, everybody who's a part of this. We love you guys. I would just say, in the cryptocurrency space, it's unregulated. There's a lot of uncertainty and inconsistency. So make sure that you do your due diligence. Not financial advice, right? I know that the market has been difficult, and a lot of us are have watched our portfolios kind of dwindle down. But like we spoke about earlier in this AMA, everything is cyclic, right? These things go in cycles. So you don't feel too down. Just not financial advice, but hold on for the ride, and what goes down will come back up. So all the best to you all. I appreciate, again, you guys being here, and I wish you the best. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today. And I'm reminding everybody again that we had FEG Token, and it's a pleasure for us to support FEG Token on StealthEX for instant non-custodial swaps. We will do so forever, so you have your time to check the platform. And if you ever need a place to get some FEG, you can just go to our website and check all the, I believe, 600 something assets that you can swap FEG with, both ways. And it's been lovely hearing all these questions, lots of great questions, and hopefully everybody will have the great rest of the day, or rest of the week, should we say rest of the week ahead, and have lovely weekends. And yeah, thank you for joining us today again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. I hope to work with you guys again soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, and take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.